Now, if you're moving to St. Louis, looking around different neighborhoods and trying to hone in on the right fit for you, we're talking about St. Louis Hills today. So what it looks like, what it feels like, a few things that make it kind of unique for the rest of St. Louis City, and just some stuff you want to know if you're moving to the area. So let's get right to it. Hey, welcome to the channel. My name is Jacob Peistrup. Glad to have you. So, St. Louis Hills. It is really cool. It is beautiful. There's kind of two different parts of this neighborhood. And what you'll see is that it's kind of crazy. It looks like you're literally in the suburbs, but you're in a city neighborhood. You're in the city of St. Louis, but you will see some neighborhoods that look like you're actually in the suburbs. Like you could think you're driving through Baldwin or Ellisville out in West County, but you're actually in the city of St. Louis. So it kind of has that suburban feel, but in the city of St. Louis. And hey, by the way, if you're moving to St. Louis Hills or somewhere else in the St. Louis area, if you want help buying a house, buying a condo, making that move, my team and I are licensed realtors. That's what we're here for. We'd love to work with you and help you with that move. So towards the north of St. Louis Hills, anything north of Eichelberger Street, which goes like right through the middle, the north is where you see like this very St. Louis City style neighborhood. It's kind of closer together, it's more dense. You will see these typical South City gingerbread houses. You'll see these duplexes, fourplexes, and then some older brick apartment and condo buildings. But south of Eichelberger, it just looks very different. It's more spread out and it has more of a suburban feel. I mean, you'll see these ranch homes and these story-and-a-half homes, fenced in backyard with a pool. Like it looks like you're in the suburbs, but you're not. And so one real quick thing is that St. Louis Hills is a different neighborhood from The Hill, if you're not familiar with the area. The Hill is the historically Italian part of town. St. Louis Hills is different. And the north part is what people will call St. Louis Hills. And then south of Eichelberger, they will call St. Louis Hills Estates, just to kind of differentiate. People will sometimes use either one to refer to the whole neighborhood, but basically the Estates is down south, looks very suburban. And then just regular St. Louis Hills is north, and it has much more of this common South City feel. So it's kind of funny. It definitely does not feel like the country. Don't get me wrong. It is not rural whatsoever. But back in the day, their slogan was country living in the city. It kind of leans on the more suburban side compared to a lot of, more dense, more close-knit areas in South City. So that is one thing that makes it kind of unique in its own way. It's newer and it's a little bit more suburban than St. Louis City. And so north of Eichelberger, you will see more of like these typical block systems with the streets. And then south, it just looks more like suburban neighborhoods, like kind of meandering streets, not as organized as the blocks, but it's just kind of a difference you'll notice in the way things look and feel either towards the north side or the south side. And in both cases, on both sides of the neighborhood, you will see a lot of just architectural diversity. So you do have a lot of the typical gingerbread house, which you see all over South St. Louis City, but then you'll see, different styles of brick houses or some Art Deco style. It's got a lot of just a lot of different styles and patterns going on, but a lot of these just beautiful historic city homes. Like if you're someone who appreciates a home with character, with some story to it, St. Louis Hills is one place you'll find that, but all over St. Louis City, Central West End, Benton Park, Tower Grove, Soulard, Lafayette Square, like each neighborhood kind of has its own different personality, and you'll see these historic homes in different styles in each part of St. Louis. Now, with pricing, cost of living, St. Louis Hills is not the cheapest part of St. Louis City. It's not the most expensive like Central West End, but I mean, if you're going for one of these single family houses, especially if it's bigger and on a bigger lot, I mean, you'll see anything from the 300s all the way up to 700,000 or 800,000 for one of these suburban looking houses in St. Louis City. And then you'll see a good mix anywhere in between 400s, 500s, 600s. If you're going for a condo, you'll usually see some lower prices with that. So between 100 and 200,000, you'll definitely see some more options for condos. Whereas with houses, You don't see as many options from 100 to 200, but then anything 200 to 800, a lot to pick from in St. Louis Hills. Or even if you want a duplex or a fourplex, you have a lot of options in this part of town. So St. Louis Hills, Northampton, Southampton, you will see much more options for multifamily if you want to house hack or if you just want to add investment properties. You'll see a healthy, amount of multifamily, which you don't see everywhere in St. Louis City, but in this part of South City, you definitely see that. So that is one option you have as well. Whether it's a condo, a house, or a multifamily, you got different options in St. Louis Hills. And there's literally a Target and a shopping center. It's not really in St. Louis Hills, it's like on the edge. It's like on the corner between St. Louis Hills and Southampton. But there's a Target, there's a Schnucks for groceries. It's like this little shopping area. And it's Hampton Village. Hampton Village is the name of the shopping area, but it just looks like this cute kind of like suburban shopping area, but you're in St. Louis City and it's kind of like you'd never guess. So that's kind of what I mean when I say it has a unique style. It has a more like suburban look than the rest of the city. And then Francis Park is in the middle of both, basically. It's further north, but it's right in the middle where Eichelberger kind of splits St. Louis Hills. Francis Park, this is where you have like events going on, holiday lights, cookouts, movie nights, barbecues. They'll do the Easter egg hunt on Easter. Like that's the kind of stuff you see across St. Louis City. Like you will have the neighborhood, the park somewhere towards the middle, and that is like the center, it's like the hub for the community. Like neighbors having get-togethers and parties, neighborhood association events will happen in Francis Park. It's just a really cool, close-knit neighborhood feel. So if you are someone who wants that, if you appreciate that closer-knit community, a lot of neighborhoods in St. Louis City do that to like more of an extent than places in the suburbs of St. Louis. That's kind of one difference I can give you between the city living and the suburban living in St. Louis. And then if you move to St. Louis Hills, you're not gonna last long before you hear something about Ted Drewes. So Ted Drewes is like traditional St. Louis custard, ice cream, concretes, whatever you want. It is like St. Louis culture is Ted Drewes. Like there's literally a vending machine for Ted Drewes at the airport. If you fly Southwest, like I don't know if it's in the other terminal, it's in Southwest, I can tell you that. There is a vending machine for Ted Drewes custard in the airport. That is how much St. Louis loves Ted Drewes. It's really good. And I mean, honestly, like you could get it at the airport from the vending machine. You could buy it at the grocery store. But if you want like that original experience, Ted Drewes on Chippewa is in St. Louis Hills. It wasn't the first location for Ted Drewes, but it's like one of the original ones. There's a couple of them, but a lot of people will talk about the one in St. Louis Hills. And really, aside from that, all along Chippewa is where you will have like just shopping. If you got to run errands, get groceries, like anything like that, it'll be either on Chippewa or somewhere in Hampton Village, which is the one right there on the corner, also on Chippewa, by the way. Just for errands, Target, grocery store, shopping. It's like your big commercial area in St. Louis Hills. And hey, again, if you're moving to St. Louis Hills, just send us an email, send us a text if you want some help with that process, buying a house, buying a condo, any questions, just making that move. That's what we're here for. We'd love to help you out. So thank you for watching. I appreciate that. Hope you take care, have a phenomenal day, and I will see you in the next video on the Living St. Louis channel.